down the list. Michelle, the question is, are we getting close to the funds through Nesera Gesara to be released for humanitarian projects like MEDBED? People are losing hope and faith in the alliance. This is a great question. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Juliet.
So the funds are there. The funds have been there. We think that she means is the timing to release this getting close. The funds have long been there. They have long been there.
Yeah, the money has always been there.
There's many moving parts to this lineup, and most of those parts are ready and literally just waiting on the sidelines for the coach to blow the whistle, so to speak. The complexity of what is taking place is unfathomable to most people. It is more complex than you could imagine because you are not just, it is not just about this timeline. There are other timelines involved. This assault on humanity is in multi-dimensions and in multiple timelines within a dimension. It is extremely strategic, and it is the most amazing thing. The global cooperation for this is so large that it is amazing to finally get the cooperation from around the world, from most all of these nations and governments to agree to do this. You see, Masters, there's so many different types of governments out there. If you are in the US, you just have this mindset of how your government works, but there's dozens of different ways that governments operate, and there has been a long project instilled to bring about cooperation, and it literally is like herding wild cats into a 2-foot box, and it is taking place. If you can keep that in mind, it will help you have some patience and some understandings. It is happening. There are many things that have come into alignment and are ready at the standby to unleash themselves. So that's good news. That's good news. And there are some other things that need to align as well. There are things that have come up that they did not even have any idea about. Some of the horrors of what they have discovered, they were not ready for. There's been some psychological problems with the soldiers and the psyops that have been going in to clean up areas and what they have seen. And so there's emotional setbacks, but the finances are not the setbacks. Those finances have long been in place, and it's coming. So that's the good news. It's on its way, but
just to kind of help in this explanation, if you understood just on the banking side of things, now most people would think that the banking side it's really not that big a deal, but when you're talking about the whole planet and banks of all types across the world, and how many people sit in those banks and are connected to those banks, clear down to a simple credit union, you're talking about hundreds of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands, if not into the millions of people that are involved just in the banking sector that keep the planet operating. And they have had to shut all of that down. Globally. Right.
Yes.
And clean that up. And every time they think they've got part of that resolved and they're ready to go, someone else steps in because they see an opportunity now to take over and claim their territory. And they've got all their people sitting off on the side, their little group of people. And pretty soon it's just a never ending, you shut something down, you spring a leak over on this side, you get this leak fixed, you open up another can of worms over here. I mean, it's just all these little things that they've got to get taken care of so that they can at least try to somewhat control this, because once the money comes out and once the revaluation gets here, once the Nesera Gesara gets here, once the new banking system gets here, there are so many things that are going to happen, and they've got to stay in control of so that it doesn't get back to the way it was before.
Yeah. So the money is there, Master. The RI as well as the RV are ready to go. It's just really going to be a question of how it's going to roll itself out. They do have med beds, but how they are going to release them and when they are going to release them has yet to be seen. Here's the great news in regards to that, Michelle. With the funding that is going to be available, advanced healing technologies can be created. There's lots of people out